Welcome one and all, and for those of you that are new to the channel or haven't already subscribed, hit that pause button and subscribe. Now this first clip, it's not actually me commuting, it's just me out riding my bike. I'm on the Leatherhead bypass and keep an eye on this golf estate. He's going to come back into view. He's on the inside lane and I'm in the outside lane, and as we start going round the roundabout, he wants to get past the lorry. He's clearly not seen me, and I use my horn and let him know. He's very apologetic. I've waved and said it's okay and given him the thumbs up. He's not done it on purpose. It's just an error in judgment on his behalf. So let's get on with our lives. But it was quite scary if he hadn't altered course and just carried on across. Yes, I was taking action to brake, but could have ended very differently. Now this next clip, I'm back on my commute and we're back in Richmond. Following this Tesla, and at the bottom of the hill, he was at the traffic lights ahead of me and I could see he was using a sat-nav to navigate around. But if you're not sure where you're going, find somewhere safe to pull over. Don't just stop in the middle of a roundabout. Now, it's not often I leap to the defence of a 20-minuter, but this next clip, there's a white van that just pulls out right in front of a scooter that's filtering through the traffic in the lane next to me. You can make out the scooter just coming into view on the left-hand side. You can just see the white van off in the distance, and one of the things that when you're filtering through traffic you look for is not whether the car's pulling out or it's indicating. You look at the front wheels and you can just see the front wheels are starting to turn out. He's only just started to indicate. However, as we roll the film forwards, you can see the scooter rider coming into sight. Now, I wasn't particularly happy about it, but the scooter rider was absolutely furious. With some drivers, it's a genuine mistake. They haven't seen that there's something coming. With others, they don't care. They're just using it as an offensive weapon. They say, I'm indicating, therefore I am pulling out, and you have to adjust. And we're back in 20-minuter alley. As we roll the footage forwards, I'm going to pause it, and you can just make out the shadow of a scooter rider going down the outside of the traffic. But now I've paused the film a second later and there's a guy walking across the road. So yeah, it's not a great place to cross, but that scooter rider is bombing down the outside of the traffic, straight towards him. Now clearly the scooter rider hasn't given priority to the pedestrian. How do we know that? Because he reappears a little bit further down the road, coming back into my lane at right angles. He is just an absolute moron. I don't know what he thinks he's doing or how he is safely going to extricate himself from the wrong lane with traffic flowing through on a green light. He's still rolling forwards at this point, and he actually has to turn his wheel towards the traffic to stop himself from rolling out into the traffic. So this next clip is the following day. I'm coming home and I get pulled over by the police as part of a random stop check. The police officer that saw me was quite apologetic and a little bit embarrassed because clearly I wasn't the people they were looking to get at. As you can see from this video footage, just about everything they've stopped is a 20-minuter with an L plate. Now I have to say this may sound a little bit unkind, but I really don't care. I'd like to see quite a few more of these stop checks, and if I get caught up in them, yeah, so what? I don't mind, because quite frankly, these sorts of things need to be done once in a while just to make sure that they have passed their CBT and that they're insured. So we're back on the North Circular again, and as we approach this flat deck van, ahead of it there's a blue SUV, and I've paused the video here because if you look carefully once again you can see the front wheels slightly turned out. There's no indication, just the front wheels are slightly turned out. You know what's about to happen. Still doesn't make it okay, and it doesn't mean that I'm happy about it. This week I has mostly been dealing with idiots. An art motorbike's brilliant. Now this final clip is quite alarming. Once again, on the North Circular. Now there's a white van up ahead that's in a very odd angle to the traffic, and it's stationary with its brake lights on. And as we roll the footage forwards, we find he's opened his door and he's trying to get out of his van. Now, I don't know what's going on, whether he's broken down or whatever. The traffic moves forwards, the BMW speeds up and pulls away from him. So he closes his door and chases after it. So there's clearly a bit of road rage going on here. Now, as we roll the film forwards, I took a glance at what was going on with the guy driving, and he was pulling out what I thought was a bat, but clearly in this still footage, it's a club hammer. He's going to put it in his door pocket, clearly to be tooled up for a confrontation with the BMW driver. And the reason he's gone into the inside lane is so he can go down the inside of the BMW and block them off. He's clearly going to get out of the van with his club hammer. At this point, I intervene and tell him I am videoing what's going on. Now, he claims he's been cut up by the BMW driver, but is this genuinely a responsible way to behave? Of course, after I've confronted him, I become the object of his anger, calling me every name under the sun as he drives off into the distance.
I'm filming it, mate. I'm filming it.
Look what he's doing to me, mate.
I don't care. You watch what you're doing.
He cut me up so badly.
It doesn't matter. You don't take the law into your own hands.
What the fuck? Fucking stick.
If you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button.